getting prepared because we like to be agile and make sure we still are delivering some content to you. We were going to show these amazing videos from Lori, but guess what? We see her in the green room.
I see her. She's in the green room.
That's
She's back.
Right. So without further ado, let's bring Lori back. Woo!
Hi, Lori.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Where did I leave you? Like, I'm working away, like I'm just working and working.
Well, Lori, we actually didn't get you at all, unfortunately. It showed your beautiful face, which was frozen in the most perfect way. You looked gorgeous. I mean, you could use that, I think, for if you want to.
It was like a profile picture.
It was a profile picture. And then me and Alfredo, okay, on the count of 3, Alfredo, we'll do the face that we normally are frozen on. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3.
Oh, I'm glad it wasn't that face then.
Yeah, no, it was awesome. Gosh. So tell us what you've been up to while you've been away.
Oh my God. So I've colored so much hair already. I mean, we're done class already. What do you want me to know?
Fill us in.
I'm so sorry. So, it's funny. When I first thought I was on, I was going to say, Alfredo and Sherry, you guys have been talking about having those consultations with your clients online, and I had a talk with my best friend in Vancouver, Glenda Harrison, and she was saying that this morning she's like, oh my God, I can't get used to this mask. It fogs up. I hate wearing it. It feels awful. I'm like, how you were saying, Sherry, like everybody goes through their different things at different times and stuff, and some days she's great and some days it's like not so good. Anyway, she's like, I don't think I want to do this. I don't think I want to reopen. I don't think I want to be a hairdresser now, all these things. And I said, wait, call one of your clients, have a consultation with them, and you're going to want to go right back to the salon. Because when I saw my clients, I've been having a few meetings with them over the last couple of weeks. And as soon as I see them, it totally we often think that we're there for them, but they're actually there for us. And like, they were so emotional seeing me. And I was like, oh my God, I'm giving you a hug, like virtually all that. And it made me think, no, I can't wait to see them all, like whether it's virtually or when I go back to the salon. So if you're ever feeling that way, just like call up a friend or a client and you just have that reconnection that I don't know that anybody else has, that kind of connection that we can have, right?
Agreed.
Anyway.
Yes.
Yeah. So let me get into some hair real quick before we finish up our time together. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So let me tell you what we are going through. So one of the things that I like to do is, my clients come to me, and I'm sure a lot of you are the same way, that we have clients that come to us because we're creative, right? They don't come to us just because they want their gray covered or their base color on, which I think we're going to have to order a whole lot of 5NN and 6NN right now. If your clients are like mine, they're all like that right now, right? Mm-hmm. So this is a technique that you can use with that. I know she's like green and yellow and black and all that, but don't think about the flavors that are on her. Think about how we're going to apply this to add a little extra value to what it is that she's going to be able to have. So you can do your base color at the same time as you're going to do this technique. So if you look at her hair, so in here, she's got a very bold haircut. She could just have a bob. She could have a shag. So it doesn't have to be this strong as well. Some people look and, I don't have that client. That's not my client. You do. Let's talk about what is it that I want you to take out of this. The sectioning and how you can apply it super fast and add a little excitement. For me, my clients are all coming back, and hopefully it's June, and they're all going to want their summer do, which means they're going to want something lighter, but I'm going to have to do their base color at the same time. So how can I do that fast without just doing highlights or whatever? I'm going to do their base color, then I'm going to add some brightness on the top. So here, we're going to start by taking our first section. Now, many times I think about when I'm trying to, sure, it's like I'm always trying to come up with something new, right? Mm-hmm. And when I think about that, I think, what have I been doing? So I can't do that anymore. I have to do something different, right? Just just to get yourself out of your own way.
Yes.
So many times we've been doing triangular sections in hair all the time, right? So I was like, nope, that's it. We're going to do squares. So I've been working a lot with squares lately, and I'm going to take my first section at the back. This is going to be my base color. Now I want the base color to actually sit in a veil over top of the rest of the hair, right? So if it's in a veil so that you can see the underneath colors, but not in a solid way, okay? So if I take my first square, I can never get it exactly the same. People always say, how are you going to repeat that? And I'm like, similarly, right? Not exactly. I am not a copy machine. All right, so we're going to take our base color and just in a square on the top. And I don't like to think of myself as even. I like to think of myself as asymmetrical. And so when I take my section, I want it to be just a little bit over to one side, okay? Then when I check this section, I want to lay down my hand, okay, and splay that hair out and make sure that it's sitting evenly all the way around so that I can see through it and I can see the color coming up from underneath, okay? So just doing that. Then I'm just going to take that hair and up and out of the way. Now, many times I use clips for sectioning, but I don't know about you guys, but one, I lose my clips a lot by Friday. And then also I find if I'm doing a section, I often, it's true, right, Alfredo? Like they go away with the socks in the dryer. So I take my, I usually put a piece of foil because if I, oh my God, I keep losing this hair. Okay, so slippery. I blow dried it too well. So instead of using a clip, I use a piece of foil just to isolate it. And if it's isolated like that, then I know that I'm not ready to do that section just yet, right? So, and it's very bendable and moldable and out of the way. All right, so that's our base color that's gonna splay out over top of our whole look. So then I'm gonna think about this. So I know people, I can't see people, but I want you to do this at home anyway, okay? So think about like you have your first square. Now I want to add color and wrap around that. And I'm gonna not go all the way around the square, just one on the front and the side. So if you think about it, there's your square, and then it's just gonna wrap around the front and the side. I know people can't see you, your cat thinks you're crazy, mine do. All right, so just around one side. So that's gonna be our next section. So we're gonna take, and this section is gray. Now, I was talking earlier to myself, apparently. I was talking earlier when I did the green, I was doing a very good rehearsal for myself. When I do the green, many times, if I don't want it to be too bright, I will take my, my color and pre-tone it. And what I mean by that is if I want it grayish or like a silver green or a cooler color, I actually make the hair super cool first and then put my cool color over top so that the warm reflect doesn't shine through. So hopefully that makes sense for you guys. So here's my, my section. It comes across the front and back over through the side. So if you can see, that splays all over on one side, okay? Mm-hmm. All right, so that gives it a little movement. So it doesn't like this move all the way around. Even though it's very bowly cut around, I don't want it to look too like just helmety. I want it to have a little bit more movement. The hair has no movement in the haircut. So let's give the movement in the regular hair. Like now remember, she doesn't have to have this haircut. She could have a bob. She could have just a short haircut. She could have like a lob, all of those kind of things. I think this works really well with more one length sections. Now we did that one section and we wrapped around the one side, right? Now we're going to wrap around the other side. So we're going to go around the front and over to the side. Now here's a hot tip coming at you. Okay, here we go. So when I go to this side, get your head on your body there. Okay, good. When we go to this side, I want to go behind her ear. And the reason being is, if you look here, can you see this diagram here? If you look here, when I go past the changes of direction on the head, I find that the hair color has more movement. So it doesn't just, sometimes I like when it just sits in one spot.
Yeah.
But if I want to create movement, especially in a solid shape, I'm going to make my color not just go to the dividing point of the front and the back. I'm going to put it just a little bit behind the ear so it creates more movement. So if nothing else in this whole class that helps you with creating some movement in your hair color, then awesome. All right, so this is my yellow.
They're asking, Lori, we have a question there saying, is it square or slicing?
Ah, awesome. So these are slices, but I'm working around a square. Okay, so I started with a square, and then so I started with my square, and then I see the red was the gray piece there, and that goes across the front and over to the side. Okay, then my yellow piece is this green one, and it goes across the front and back through the side behind the ear. Okay,
love it.
Good. Now my last section, and because it's the boldest one, oh my Lord, you guys aren't going to believe this, but my cat just decided that she wanted to chew a whole nother mannequin on the floor beside me. She's literally like doing this.
Oh man.
Oh, Patsy. Okay. You're gonna have to treat that one later. All right. So my last section is a very skinny. Say skinny at home so that they know.
Skinny
section around the front. So again, we're going to work just across the front and on one side and go back behind the ear. Now with this skinny section, it's a very bold color. I put black in it. Now here's the important part. You can use a gloss or a demi-permanent on all the rest of this. But when you use black, you want to use a permanent color. Let me repeat that. You want to use a permanent color. The reason you want to use a permanent color is when you rinse that, or she shampoos it days later, a demi-permanent can, not will, but it can have a tendency to run into other hair, right? So if you use a permanent color and you shampoo that out, those molecules are usually locked in there and it doesn't run through your bright colors and you don't end up muddy at all. So I always use a permanent color when I go with like something super dark or super black with that, if to help with that. All right, so here's my section that goes all the way around the head in the front, or not around the head, all the way around in the front and off to the side. Now you'll notice on the ends, let me bring her in. You'll notice on the ends, she has the base color on the ends. So I did not take the base color all the way through to the ends because I feel like it would dominate all the way around her face. She does need some framing there, but nothing so hard. Make sense?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
I love your hot tip about the permanent color because I would have never thought of that. And it's just.
Well, I mean, I probably did that by accident, you know, Alfredo, like you rinse down that dark color and then you shampoo it. Even if you rinse it super carefully, when you go to shampoo it, there's always that blacky, purpley, bluey suds that goes and it stains that bright yellow that you just put in, or the blonde or anything like that. So I always use a permanent color because it doesn't leak the same. So yeah. All right. So there's our sectioning in through there. So skip forward. She's got her base color on already. Now you can put your base color all over everywhere to cover the gray and then section this, or you can put the base, section it, then put your base color on and do everything, whichever way works the best for you. But for time's sake, let's do it all at the same time so that everything's done at the same time. So she's got her base color on. I taught this to the cat earlier. Okay, so this is the base color. This is the first square of the base. Then I take the foil back. Now this section, to make it fast, this section, let me do this again so you can see. If I put this foil down just in that corner, I want to lay on my gray color. That's the first one I put on. And I'm working on the back of her head. I'm going to put color on the foil first. And then I'm going to take the hair and I'm going to lock it into position that way. That way I get the hair to stick easy. And also I'm sandwiching the hair color on both sides. So I have maximum saturation in minimum time. So then just applying your color all the way through. Now here's another hot tip for you. So you want to put the color on the foil first. Then as you're applying your color, instead of applying like so, and I wipe the color off, I'm going to apply like I'm caressing the hair and making sure that the hair color really lays on. So my brush is actually parallel to that hair strand so that I can get maximum coverage. Now, in something like this, you want to cut the hair first, which we had a staff meeting this morning, and I'm sure Braden's going to tell you, I can't wait to see what he's doing. I'm sure Braden's going to share with you that maybe you're going to do dry cutting on your clients, or you're going to cut them first and then go ahead and put their color on. So that works out really well for us in the salon right now, because this would be best if you cut first and then color. So all you would do then is just keep applying color on your foil. So we would go through with our yellow, apply on the foil, take our yellow section, direct that back. All right.
So each one of these sections gets a different color. Is that what you're?
They do. They
Okay.
do. Thank you for that question, Sherry. Yes. So each section gets a different color. So if you think about the first square that I put on the very top of the head, right? The first one is what color? That's the base color, right?
Okay.
So
That's the
that
green,
it ties
blue, and
everything
yellow.
in. Yes. So you have gray, yellow, and black are the three colors.
Mm-hmm.
And then the base is the green. So the green goes on first on the first square. So I know it's confusing because I should have made that blue. I apologize. All of the white on this head you apply first. Okay.
Got it.
So then you apply your base color all the way through. Then this red one is our gray color. So you bring that all the way back. You can, if you need to cover the gray, you can put your base color on at the scalp area and then your gray throughout. And we've been doing that root blend for so long.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not going to do it. So I didn't do it on her. I always have to be like, if I've been doing it, I've got to do something different, right? So on her, she actually doesn't have, like, all the way up to the root area is that yellow or the gray. So that it just has maximum effect, but it's a slim silver or a slim sliver of a section. So it doesn't look too stamped on or anything. All right, so that's the last one. So you might say, okay, but Lori, I'm not going to use yellow or black or gray or that kind of thing. All right, so let's talk about it. If you did perhaps a 6NN, okay, just a 6NN. If you were going to do a 6NN or 5NN on your client, you could do this in different colors of, maybe you do something a lot warmer. So you do like maybe a gold tone, right? Or a cooler tone or 2 levels lighter. Then maybe the second one where the yellow is, maybe you do a high lift color there, right? I work a lot with like clear in our product, right? Clear sometimes will lift up natural hair or pigmented hair color just a little bit, just a tiny bit. Sometimes you can use a high lift maybe with a lower volume and a higher volume so that you get some variation to this hair color. My goal is for you to be able to just do a color that, one, is fun, 2, to add a little bit of dimension to the hair so that you are giving them extra value for their money. Okay, not all the way to the end. Okay. And you want to put your base color on those ends. So adding a little value to what it is that they already have, that you're already giving them, but you know, a little bit of brightness, brighten up their day by giving them something a little extra special that only you can give them. Right, that thin sliver of black with the base color on the mid and ends. And that's it. See how fast that is?
Yeah.
Amazing. And then everything else out here, just like you said on the on the diagram, has the base color on it.
Yes. So if you're adding the base color, so you could go ahead and put your base color in at her scalp area all over first, if you like to, and then section the square and the other sections. Just don't pull it all the way out to the ends, right?
Got it.
Or you could section this. It was very quick to section the squares, you know, and get them out of the way. Then put your base color on all underneath. Then you can put your base color on as you do each of the sections, if you like. And then whatever you want to use on those ends to give you a little bit of brightness, warmth, cooler. Maybe it's just glosses that you use to add some dimension to their hair. You could use lightener, you know, in different volumes if you like, just so that you get that little variation. Like you can see there's a lot of color that shines through there without a huge production. I don't know about you, but many times I'm doing hair and it's like, why did I create this art project, right?
I think I've been there with you in those moments.
Probably, yes. We've been around for a long time, so yes, probably we've been there. And I was like pulling my hair out, right?
I mean, it's so beautiful, Lori, and it's one of those things that, like, to your point, it was simple to execute, but it looks to me like it took, you know, like it's just so beautiful, and there's just so much dimension and so much, you know. How long would you say on average would that take from start to finish if you were in salon for processing and everything?
I say about 20, 25 minutes at the most. You know, that's like 10 minutes with your base color, you know, another maybe 5 or 10 minutes. But, you know, Alfredo, you can do it at the same time as your base color. So when you put your accent color on and your base color is processing, when your base color is done, everything's done at the same time. So you're not adding more time onto, because your appointments are going to be very specific timing right now going back to work. So we want to do everything at the same time.
Excellent. And so, Lori, I think one of the big things here is that you can do something much faster utilizing this square and these horizontal lines, because it splays more color in a movement whenever the hair is living in its natural falling position. And those are the sort of hot tips that, you know, our watchers, our viewers are going to need, is like, how do we do the maximum impact with, I hate to say minimum effort, because it's not minimum effort, but minimum time.
Yeah, I was going to say minimal time allotment.
Minimal time. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
And so, Lori, I have known you a very long time, because we both were in, you know, like preschool together and decided to go to Redken. And so I also know, if I could be so transparent to say, is that, you know, you were a little like, this Instagram social media thing. And, you know, didn't really embrace it with open arms. They were semi-open, because you're open anyway, but they were semi-open arms. And now we are in a world where everything is on digital. So can you just please share with everybody that's watching where they'd be able to see some of the other things that you're doing in detail? Because you've been doing a lot with online learning. I know with Redken specifically, both, Saturday, you know, there was a 7-hour color program, but you've also been doing a lot. But where can they go find you? Where are you showing some of the techniques and the hot tips that you're doing? Because you have since then embraced it fully.
Yes, well, it's funny that you say that, because you know, it's almost like, okay, you're going to embrace it, and here you go, and ready, set, go. And I I see a completely different value. You're going to be so excited, Sherry. I see a completely different value in it, and actually really excited about it. It really does, light a fire in me to be able to reach more people and connect with people in that way. So at Lori Zabel on Instagram or Facebook, you can always find my schedule. I did hire somebody. I am embracing this, but I'm going to give Lynn Wenzel Productions a plug there because she does look after all of my stuff. Yes. I'm still not good at it myself, but I'm embracing it. So she always puts my schedule up, and you can always message me on Instagram, and I will try to get back to you as soon as possible. Hound me if you need to. I'm fine with that to see where I am. We're doing, we have an exchange live class on May 25th. And I encourage you to get a mannequin, get some lightener or some conditioner or whatever, and do some things along with myself and Michelle Marshall from the UK, who's amazing, great friend. Nice. We're doing a hands-on there. And then there are many other things that are in the works coming up. And I've been trying to do a What Do You Want to Know Wednesday. So I've been doing myself just in my dining room, having a little conference of like, what do you need to know, and some like different fun things. I like to make it fun. So bring a drink, put on your fancy shoes, Sherry, because they're not being worn enough right now, right? You dust them off and wear your fancy shoes, bring a drink to the class. And we just talk about some fun techniques, but things that you can obviously use as soon as you get back. I don't try to make things very complicated. I think I'm a very slow colorist, so I have to come up with fast things. But check me out on Lori Zabel, LORIZABEL, and lots of things coming up. I can't even keep. I have to have reminders so I can keep my schedule organized.
Nice. Well, it's awesome because you are such a. I mean, you're the way that you color hair. Yes. First, the way that it looks is mind blowing, which is why you should be the winner of those Nahas. And number two, the way that you approach it is, like you said, much less complicated when you break it down than in actuality. And so I love that you have all of these resources online for people to come and see you and to get all of your tips. Now, when am I supposed to dust off my shoes? When is that?
Oh, Wednesday, May 20th. We're gonna do a happy hour. What do you want to know Wednesday?
And where do you do that at?
It is on a Zoom. It's going to be a Zoom meeting. Yes.
And are you hosting it? It's like your Zoom. All right. Well,
it's just me. It's just Lori Zabel in the kitchen with.
And if you want Sherry DJ Sparkles, I will DJ for you. So give me some information, and I'm all set up here, and I'll DJ for your happy hour. I'd love to.
Okay, we're gonna talk. That's awesome. Okay, I'm so in. That'd be great.
We'll talk. Well, everybody, please give it up for Lori Zabel. Lori,
thank you so much, Lori.
Absolutely amazing. I loved everything that you shared. Can we really quickly, before we release Lori, just show some of the beautiful images from Naha? I know they have them ready to show, because I'd love for the viewers to see those. We'll wait those come up.
Wow.
Oof, this was Lori won for design here. I think originally we were just sort of going, this one was specifically for design. I know the first year we were working together, Lori, you were all about color. And then when we looked at it, it was like, oh no, she can do design. She can enter for design as well. Beautiful. And then, yes. Absolutely.
Surprise,
absolutely.
right?
Surprise. Exactly. All right. So my understanding is we won't be able to hear Lori while these are up, but what Lori just mentioned is that her looks are done by Babek. He's an amazing photographer that is not only a photographer, but also, and he's an award-winning photographer not for Naha, but also a great collaborator. And he helps us to visualize the looks as well. Did we have other images to see from Lori? Yes.
Gasp.
Yeah, gasped is right. This was so beautiful. And again, she won for color here as well as design on this one. So another are there any more? Let's see. There might be one more set, I think. No more. Okay. So we're gonna cut back to Lori quickly and say our sad goodbyes.
I love the color one. It tells a story, right? They always say the best Naha collections are the ones that get the ones that tell the best story. I love that collection. I just have to tell you that, Lori.
Thank you, Alfredo. Thank you guys for having me on. Everyone be kind and patient with each other, and we hope to be together physically very soon, but spiritually we're together already.
We are. And I'll be together with you on the 20th for your happy hour as DJ Sparkles. Thank you so much, Lori.
Thank you, Lori, so much. Learned so much.
Bye. Thank you. Thank you.